Remember how we would always get ready to go to see Uncle Teeny in Aunt Alberta? And it was like this whole ritual before the road trip. You know, Daddy had to have his stuff, his music.
I always tell Shantae, we would go to bed and wake up someplace else.
Right.
Yep. And they'll be like, oh, wow, look, we're gone.
Right.
I love Dionne Warwick. So while my dad was working on this album, I literally probably laid on the floor the whole time. And when he got finished doing all the orchestration, he called me down and put my vocals on some of her things. And then he got my sister and my mother, and we all sang.
They long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky? Every time you walk by.
Brilliant to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. You're so cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Lovely.
That's my British thing.
So Eddie Harris and your father were more or less the same age?
Yeah, I think so. They were really good friends. They had a ridiculous game of chess. No, not like you see the chess on TV. It was quiet, and then it was explosively loud. Ah, I got you! Because this only happened on the nights that my mother was at like Wednesday night Bible study. And he was the babysitter. So here's Ramsey's old house. Yep. Well, they gave lots of parties.
Well, he and I lived about 2 blocks away. So it was no big deal for him to knock on my door and say, look, listen to this, or me to pass by his house. What are you doing? Well, listen to this. Charles Stepney could take music paper, manuscript paper, and write a full score for symphony orchestra or a big band or for trio, like we would write a letter. Sometimes with a piano, sometimes not. Sometimes on an airplane with just manuscript paper, and you would see him just...
That's what he was going to do, get him a new car and a new home to, you know, right before he died, he and I had a talk about it in the kitchen. He said, everything else I've ever wanted to do, I've done. And he said he was going to do his own album. And I said, well, I think it's time for you to go to the next plane. And when I came home, he was on the floor. Yeah. My mother moved out quickly. I think in 3 or 4 months later, we were gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, his baby child, Shantae.
I didn't know my dad. I do not have any memories of my father. I was 18 months when he died. Throughout my life, we bumped into people who've stopped and told me a story about my dad, and I'm like, he was a cool guy. And
this is a song that the family requested, and I'm only too happy to do that because a lot of things I do now are because of Charles. Does it leave an afterglow? Hey, I really want to know what color is love?
So he was super disciplined, as a lot of artists are, because in order to accomplish your art, you have to be disciplined. And I think that they didn't understand when they gave him his meds. He's not going to be that person that's not going to follow that diet. So his sugar was too low, and we didn't know how to manage it.
Oh, it was the opposite.
Yeah, for the amount of medicine he was taking. My grandmother and grandfather would have known, oh, his sugar's probably too low, take his sugar, give him some juice or something like that. But we didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Happy New Year, 1975!
It's hard to imagine what could have been because it's all sort of speculation. But in the case of Charles Stepney, when he died in the spring of 1976, there's these 4 albums that come out. Salongo by Ramsey Lewis, Spirit by Earth, Wind & Fire, This Is Nisi by Denise Williams, Flowers by The Emotions, that literally give you a taste of what could have been. I'm Ayanna Contreras. Thank you for coming out to this International Anthem Summer of Stepney kickoff event. I'm not trying to make people cry, but I know, all of us have suffered loss at some point, and you just wish you could hear their voice again. And I wonder, do you ever feel comforted by the music?
It was always great. It was ever present. It was on in the house. It was on in the grocery store. It was on in the elevator. And oh, that's Daddy. Oh, that's Daddy. Those are my earliest memories of my father. Honestly, sometimes the music is painful because that's it. But in many ways, it's very comforting. It's kind of surreal. There's so much emotion and passion and unwritten love and communication that music speaks.
To me, music is like a sphere, goes round and round, and it has a center. And to me, he was right in the center of that.
As a person, as a friend, as a strong black man, Step meant a lot to me.
His music was exciting, it was different, and it was like yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
He was my brother, my friend, and I miss him.
This is, if you're not familiar with it, Spirit by Earth, Wind & Fire, another one of the last albums that he worked on. I don't know, maybe you've heard Imagination, Get Away. Maybe you heard On Your Face in your life. But in the inner sleeve, there's a dedication, and it's from Maurice White, and it says, with every band, the departure of spirit must take place.
It is destiny. That is inevitable. We were blessed to have had a gifted spirit work among us.
He has now departed to the next plane. He left with us much beauty
and inspiration for humanity to feed upon.
The works in this album are dedicated to Brother Charles Stepney, 1931 to 1976. May God embrace his spirit with love.
Amen.